right, so be sure to make sure you follow our YouTube page at Black Empowerment Movement. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Today we have Kendra, the founder of the FunkyTown Fridge.
Hey.
If y'all have not heard about the FunkyTown Fridge, it's definitely something you should be looking up. It's definitely something you should be supporting. She started this fridge in the middle of a pandemic and been feeding the people of the funk. So we're going to start off. Kendra, just, let the people know, who you are. And
Okay. Well, my name is Kendra. I am the founder of FunkyTown Fridge and a Renaissance woman. I do a lot.
She does. She does do a lot. She's much more than the fridge. That's the quickest way to say, the quickest way thing to associate you with what you do.
Yeah, everybody be like the fridge girl, but I do a lot. I have a natural hair care company by the name of Cocoa Butter Queen. I'm a former educator. I am soon to be a yoga instructor.
Okay.
I am, what else do I do? I'm a former teacher. That's it.
You said former educator.
You're
still educating the people.
Yeah, I do what I can when I can for those that are listening. What else? I don't know. My old credentials is that I used to be the president of this organization for Black women called Unblemished. And I was also, the president of the NAACP in college and a lot of different other things.
You've been in the movement.
In high school, yeah. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
I think I went to my first, March rally with my mama in when I was 12, I think, for the Gen 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like my first in their experience, just like being able to actively participate in Black liberation.
Okay. Yeah, Gen 6, that was way back.
Yeah.
All right. So we just gonna start in with, the basics. So tell the people, what is the FunkyTown Fridge?
Okay, so FunkyTown Fridge is a community solidarity fridge. It is literally free food 24/7 to anybody in the communities who want to come and get food. So we try to encourage people to come and bring food when they can with what they have. If that's just, digging through your pantry and finding your old cans of soup that you're not going to eat. And we encourage people to come and take what they need at any given time. And that's the basics. They're open 24/7. They stand alone. Well, not stand alone, but they stand outside in these buildings and these sheds and on the sides of these buildings. So they're open. There are no questions asked. And we give people full autonomy to shop with dignity and get what they need. And we take care of them. You my team.
You do. So what inspired you to start the fridge?
I don't really know if inspiration is the word. How I saw the concept is I was just sitting and scrolling on Instagram. But kind of the basis of me just diving in and going ahead and just starting it and really kind of in my head just like getting it done was the necessity and wanting to the feeling of wanting to create some kind of like solution or practical materialization of these things that we're fighting for, right? Like we're fighting ultimately you're fighting for basic human rights. Like we're saying we are Black and we should be able to live healthy and whole lives, and whether that's through healthcare, whether that's through having recreational resources that keep us active in our communities instead of making us commit crime, and just trying to bring that to life, if that makes sense, and just showing people that there is a way. There's a way that we ourselves can create solutions for ourselves and just kind of build from there. And this was just kind of my little seed I wanted to plant to materialize it for people in Fort Worth.
It's far from a little seed. It's far from a small seed, in my opinion. When the winter storm, if you already follow FunkyTown Fridge, when the winter storm hit, Jennifer Aniston shared your.
Everybody be.
Yes, I saw it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. We've gone national quick.
Yeah.
Quick. It's gone crazy.
Yeah, and I'm very it's very huge. It's a very huge thing that you
Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Question for you: If you knew then what you know now, with starting the fridges, is there anything that you would have done different?
I probably would have taken my time more. But at the same time, I kind of started these on the premises of not having time. Like, you know, we're running out of time, and we really are. And the earth is telling us that every day. And so when I started the fridges, it was just like, I'm starting with these fridges, but I want to do mutual aid. Like, I want to save the city. I want to do everything. Everybody come to us. And so I did that, and luckily with my team, thank God for them, it happened with things like taking on the winter storm and like helping the Bellevue residents and buying shoes for Nights, who was like
I saw that.
Getting shoes and stuff together for the kids. Just, we've done a lot in 1 year, and I've gone for the entire year, like literally just like gone nonstop. And next month we'll be coming up on our 1 year anniversary, and I haven't stopped since then. And then I was working another job on top of that. So I would pace myself more, and just kind of like really slow down and like discern and think through just the things I want to do and just how to execute them as efficient as I can to get them to the people, to get the resources out to the people as quick as I can.
I think y'all doing a pretty damn good job.
Thank you.
How did you get the fridge started?
You? Yeah. No, yeah. I was scrolling on Instagram, I seen it, and I was like, ooh, we need one here in Fort Worth. And I hit you up, and I was looking for people to, like, I was really looking for a collective, right? Like, I was really looking for people I could build a community with to just really, I don't know, spearhead this thing and make sure that it happened, and not only make sure that it happened, but make sure that it had a solid foundation to sustain. And so you were one of the first people I thought of, honestly, truly. And I told you about it, and you was like, I got a fridge in my storage. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, all right, bet. Like, this is for real. And so after that, I started setting everything else up. And before I even hit you up, I had already made like a Twitter or email and Instagram.
You was ready to go.
Yeah, I didn't even have a fridge yet. And you were the first person I told. And some told me to hit you up, and I did. And it was history from then on. And
it's been history, because now you have 3 locations.
Yeah.
And you can find those locations, you guys, on FunkyTownFridge.org.
Yes.
It has the addresses. Like she said, it's 24/7. You can pick up food 24/7. You can drop off food 24/7. So make sure if that's something you can support. What are some other ways that we can support the fridge outside of, donating, going to the locations, donating food?
So we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for people who want to help get the word out. We do like a lot of different pop-up shops now. So we're trying to build like a volunteer street team that'll like want to go out and do those things. We have a Patreon, we have a YouTube, and a GoFundMe, and a Cash App and a Venmo. Just like, we try to create all kinds of ways for people to contribute at any time. The main thing is always just like going and keeping the fridge filled like as much as you can 24/7. And we try to depend on the community as much as possible, because if we just take care of it and maintain it, then it really kind of defeats the purpose of the community we're trying to build. And so other than keeping the fridges filled, just constantly letting somebody know or spreading the word. Word of mouth is always the number one priority, and letting people know that there's a fridge, that it's available, and that there are ways available to help other people. So yeah, anyway that you can think of, that you see on our website. You can buy merch, you can apply to be a volunteer, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can always engage with our Instagram and our Facebook and our Twitter posts and stuff. Like, we like to interact with our online community as well, because that's still a vital part of the work that we do. So any one of those ways that you see fit and that's accessible and available to you, we encourage everybody to jump in and help out. And not just with FunkyTown Fridge, but with any fridge that's even near you or nearest to you.
Yeah, because it's a lot of ways to help out in the community. It's really, I know people ask that, sometimes people say that, I don't know how to help out. You can find a way.
There are ways.
It's a million ways. It's a million things that need to be done. Do you plan on opening up any more fridges?
Yeah, we actually have one on the way.
Okay.
Next, was it August and October?
In October? Can't wait.
Yeah, we're excited about that one.
All right. So, do you receive support from the city?
Like the city of Fort Worth, the business? Or like the people
I mean, like, not the people of the city. I mean, like, the actual...
The city of Fort Worth, the government.
Fort Worth, right.
No.
And I mean, like, when I asked that question, to go in a little bit into depth of that, if you don't mind, like, have you had issues with the city or, things like that?
I mean, no, there was a point in time where we had to, like, deal with code, but they weren't offering any solutions.
Yeah.
So that's just what it was. Like, if they come back, they come back. But
they pretty much done, calmed or...
Yeah, I mean, we moved on. We had stuff to do. And I made that clear. And nobody else is feeding the city 24/7. So, and they're not either. And it's technically their job to do. And that's why community fridges all over have started to pop up, because people are really realizing and becoming more consciously aware of the government and of the world and of America and how it works and how it operates and what the government is supposed to do and how it's supposed to protect you, and realizing that it has done none of those things. So since we as a community have decided to come together and do that, then that's just what it is. Why would you bother that? Why would you try to interrupt that? Or, I don't know, tear down.
So one of my next questions, which I think kind of ties into that, is, what makes the fridge, revolutionary?
I think it just existing is a revolutionary act. Making something, food itself should be free. That is a revolutionary act in a capitalistic world. Making things that should, that are entitled to us as human beings, right? Like making those things free and accessible instead of making people have to pay for things that they should already have available to them. We do we try to open up that space for conversations, especially when people come and donate, because it's like, y'all really giving out free food? Like, y'all really have a refrigerator outside? And so it opens up space for a conversation, for people to educate them more on why we exist and why we exist the way we do, and what our principles are, and what we believe as a collective and how we move. And so then you open up room for conversations to educate people on these kind of politics. It's a way of reducing harm to the world, because it stops people from wasting food. And it's a way to bring people together. And that in itself can be a radical act, when people or communities come together and start to learn together and have more conversations together and talk more and just kind of grow from there. And so we've seen people, excuse me, We've seen people come to the fridges who haven't seen neighbors that live down the street from them in years because they haven't had time to be able to talk and commune and fellowship because they're always working, they're always producing capital. they're
Right.
always doing things that, you know, fuel this system, not necessarily even on purpose, but you don't have a choice. You got to go to work, you got to feed your
Right.
kids, you got to survive. And so, you know, people are trying to maintain those things. And so this, it's just kind of anything unorthodox, I think, or anything opposite of what capitalism is revolutionary. And I think for us as a collective, or for me as a founder, I just want to continue to do that in radical and revolutionary ways, in a way that radicalizes people in the community to think for themselves. That makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And, we do have to, because a part of revolution is us being self-sufficient, and I think that a part of that with the fridges, that brings that self-sufficient, because you took something and you did it on your own. You didn't go to Fort Worth to say, "Hey, I think we should do this." You just did it.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and that's a part of revolution, not depending on you know, people that don't, you know, like
Yeah,
you said, they're not gonna do what they don't care about us. The point of them is, you know, in my opinion, you know, the government want to keep us, you know, where we are.
That's what
stagnant.
capitalism is.
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody got to suffer.
Somebody got to suffer.
Somebody
So
gotta
they
be
don't
poor,
have
yeah.
a problem with people suffering. They don't
Yeah.
care about suffering. They're not worried about it. They might speak on it. They might address it. You know, when it's campaign time.
That's just
But
confusion.
Exactly. But after the campaign is over,
Yeah.
poverty's still gonna be poverty at the end of the day.
And it's still there for the same people. And so the only way to eradicate it is to find a solution to try to beat it. And not saying that this is like the ultimate solution or like the number one solution, but I think it's a seed to creating more solutions and giving people the imagination they need to create a better world that doesn't involve people constantly suffering, so that 1% of the population can live the life that they want to have.
A life of abundance. Money they ain't gonna even see
Listen.
or touch.
Yeah.
They don't even touch that money. Their great grandkids gonna have that money.
For real.
So what is, well, I would say one of the hardest things about the fridges for you?
I guess finding time for myself and like not overextending myself to the point of overcapacity, and then trying to make sure my cup is filled so that I can, you know, pour into other people, because it's very emotionally straining, dealing with, and then you're dealing with different neighborhoods and different people and different stories. Then on top of that, you have to like manage people and volunteers. Then you have to make sure the fridge is good. Then you got to make sure you post on, like, it's a lot.
You do a lot.
Yeah, and so just finding time to make myself a priority more is what I'm going to focus on this go round.
You should. 'Cause y'all do a lot. Because posting, y'all keep the post going.
We got
keep
to
the post going on
Gotta let
Instagram. Y'all
people
had your
know.
Patreon. I did follow. I
Yeah.
did subscribe to the
Subscribe
Patreon.
to our Patreon. You heard? Always.
And yeah, I got my FunkyTown Fridge shirt on. She got a shirt on. So, you know, there's
Yeah.
different shirts you can buy. They got hats.
Yeah,
bags,
we got a whole
stickers.
merch line. Yeah,
Mhm. So it's there a whole lot of ways you can support.
yeah.
Damn, I lost my question.
It'll come back. It always come back.
So, I was gonna ask about. Let's talk about Bellevue. Because that's something I really didn't see anybody else really helping them.
Yeah.
If they was, I didn't see it. I can't speak for others, but I didn't see anybody helping Bellevue. So can you kind of enlighten the viewers on what Bellevue is and what happened with them during the winter storm?
Yeah, so I hadn't really seen anything or anybody following up. And so that's what caused me to reach out in April. I reached out. And the incident happened way in February. So Bellevue is it Residence at Bellevue, I think is the name of the apartments. And it was an apartment complex on the east side of Fort Worth in a predominantly black neighborhood, where a lot of people have been pushed to because of the what are they calling it, the redevelopment of Stop 6. And so a lot of people that were like living in the projects have been basically pushed out to that side of town, to Woodhaven, further east side. And these, during the winter storm, everybody knows in Texas there was a horrible winter storm and there were pipes busting everywhere. And so in these apartments, the pipes bursted to the point where there was like permanent damage, and they let these people stay there for the longest, I think for about 2 or 3 weeks after the storm, and then all of a sudden put signs on their doors and told them that they had to leave. And so as residents are like going back and forth and trying to talk to the office managers to see like what's going on, what solutions what can be done, what solutions were happening and what could be done, and like what they would offer them for just like uprooting their lives and trying to make them move, or trying to at least extend the time that they had to move. And so I remember going to one community meeting in like late February. This was after the storm. It was some resources there. I know the city was there. I heard that Councilwoman Gina Bivens was there. I heard she gave showers like for like a day. And then I think Catholic Charities and the other few people were there. I know Catholic Charities was trying to like help people find placements so that they could move, but not everybody was getting placements. They were running out of apartments. There were single parents there. Like
people who were waiting to get their housing vouchers. People were waiting to get
the housing authority was there. People were waiting to get their housing vouchers. They're being talked to like they're beneath them. I didn't really like the way people were being talked to or how they were being treated, and so I just kind of sat back and waited to see if any action would really be taking place. They had placed people in like hotels. They paid for hotels for a few weeks, and then that was about it. And I know some people, by the time we got to them, had like newborns and stuff and like still living in hotels. So I hadn't heard anything else about it. I know there was one news article because the residents had reached out, and then it just kind of died. And so I found a way to reach one of the residents in kind of like mid-April, and he hooked me up with some more people that had been living there even after the community meeting. And so we found out that it was about, I don't know, like maybe 10 to 15 or so families still staying in those apartments with the pipes burst. And at this point, they were like doing construction inside the apartments as well. And so like some of these people are also disabled. And so they're in the apartment while people are coming in and like knocking down walls and like rebuilding bathrooms and stuff. And they lost everything. And we had ran out of our direct cash capacity, and we had a lot of different things just like left over. And we asked for a few things like socks, like washing detergent. Some of them needed water because them and their kids were carrying buckets to get water and going back home to take showers, baths, or whatever. And so we set up there like a free store with free tables inside the apartment complex, and just set up everything that they had asked for throughout the week and allowed them to come and take whatever they needed. And it was a lot. Like it was a lot to hear those different stories from those people and how badly they were impacted, and some of them still haven't recovered. Some of them still haven't found housing. We try to keep in contact with them just to kind of follow up, because like, what does life look like when you're just like completely uprooted and moved somewhere else? And so just trying to be as supportive as we can past that, and just let them know that community is there to support them when they need it. So yeah, it was crazy. But that was the Bellevue story.
Yeah, you were one of the people that, stepped up even, when it kind of looked like they were forgotten about.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It really did. And that's what they were saying. And so I was actually blessed, really, truly blessed to be able to reach out to them and help them and get them a lot of the things that they needed to just rebuild and start fresh and start new. We had to get like brooms and trash cans and trash bags. Like they had to start over. And so it was a blessing to be able to just provide that resource for them in a time where they were like giving up hope. So yeah.
All right.
What?
Nah, it's good. You cool. So now, as far as revolution, I want to step on that so we can step a little bit outside of the fridge and we can talk more about what do you think it would take for Black people to revolutionize. I know that's like that's kind of like a broad question. But it's some things that some of us need to hear. Because even though, I'll say this before you answer the question, because I know the fridge is revolutionary, but people be like, oh, that's sweet. She feeding the people and blah, blah, blah. And they minds stop right there. And they're not realizing that's revolution, but that's
or they're not giving revolution. They be like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
They be like, whoa.
They need to, you need to go forward. Yeah. The fridge is one part. We got more work to do. Yeah, people be like, oh, that's cool. She feeding the people. Yeah. Yay. But yeah, but this is not. It's
but
deeper.
Here's why.
Exactly. Yeah. This is why. If you understand the why in the background, which you did talk about, which is why I encourage people to follow the page too, so you can see the revolutionary post that you make. That it's deeper than just food.
It's so much deeper than that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you answer the question.
How do I think Black people should revolution? I really don't know. I know that they should give up some things. I know that we can give up. First of all, you got to know that you're being oppressed to be radicalized. I believe like you have to. I mean, Asada said that too, but you have to just really see. Sometimes they see it, but they're not really present, and I really don't understand that. But you have to recognize and understand and be conscious of the oppression that we face as a people. I think we need to give up things like homophobia and transphobia and ableism and respectability and capitalism and the need and the want for power through money. Yeah. I think we have to let go a lot of ideas and principles that we hold on to that are colonialized, that really don't even belong to us, and get back into or trying to find out who we really are through shadow work, through spending time with yourself, and through studying revolutionaries and learning and unlearning, and trying to take the time to really take the time to dig deep and understand why you think the things you think or the way you think them, and really decolonize your mind. Like that's what that really means, other than a buzzword. Like it takes action, it takes personal action for you to just really be able to sit with yourself and find the things that inside of you that cause harm, and the things that you participate in that cause harm. Figure out why it's harmful and who it's harming, and then pivot and do things that choose better, do better. And that, I think that only comes through just like learning and growing within yourself, and reaching for more than just these capitalistic goals that we have developed over the decades for whatever reason.
Some capitalistic goals
through generational wealth and whatever else, however else they want to mask it. Like, let it go.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having.
Let it go.
Having, it ain't nothing wrong with having, but it's the way we get it and how we, I saw a post that was like, oh, you not sad, you not depressed, you don't need personal time, you just being lazy. No, some people need to,
I hate the word lazy.
Yeah, because, it shouldn't be the norm to work. That's not supposed to be the norm. That's not supposed to be the norm to be like, oh, we get in the bag. And in the meantime, while you get in the bag, you missing out on life. Or your child
or hurting other people in the midst.
That's true, too. Or your child could be going through something and you can't see it because you're chasing the bag.
Focus on the wrong thing.
Yeah, so I think we miss that. And capitalism does have us set to those mindsets that we're trying to get,
Well, if we had focus, it wouldn't be as easy as a people, as a collective.
Yeah, we don't focus.
It wouldn't.
Right now we falling on crazy shit.
It wouldn't be no, for real. It wouldn't be as easy to be able to, pivot us off our pedestals and what we really trying to do and what we really need to do and really running out of time to do.
Yeah.
At this point, just to be better, and a lot of people are just deliberately not choosing to do better. And so what do you do at that point?
You leave them behind.
Leave them on the plantation.
Yeah, leave them on the plantation. Everybody can't go.
Yeah.
Everybody can't go.
Yeah.
So, all right. We breathing through these questions.
Yeah, what? No.
But some of them you kind of already answered, by, when you just talking, you was answering some of the questions. Some of them a little bit repetitive. But what inspires you daily? Like when you get to a point where you feel like, I know you said you want to take more time for yourself, but because through this year you've been just moving and moving and moving. Every time I see, when I look up, y'all got something going on. Like y'all just did free breakfast for the first week of back to school, and y'all did that at the United Fort Worth,
the Justice Center.
Yeah.
That was lit.
We interviewed them, so they on our podcast.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw
fridge,
the interview.
she had the fridge at their United Fort Worth Justice Center. Yeah. So see how we all kind of connect in some kind of way,
which I love. I think that's great that we as leaders and community advocates have found space to like come together and love on one another and support each other in those ways, because I think that's important. And I think people are starting to, especially now, more get conscious of what's happening around them where they live, like in their own backyards, and finding ways and programs to create to eradicate these things or show and do better and create better. So yeah, because
where some of your fridges are, they're amongst what you call food deserts.
Yes.
So that's where people don't have access to healthier food options in their neighborhoods. So people don't understand how big that is for you to or have a fridge and put it in their neighborhood, where you can have access to fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, water, things like that, and then they can get it for free, because sometimes we don't always have the money,
We don't.
You don't have
we
the
don't
money
have the money.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know even for me, I work 2 jobs. I'm a single parent, but sometimes I'm like, damn, to feed us for a week, it's gone. Boom, boom,
I do
boom,
that,
boom.
and I'm one person.
Yeah.
So
and my daughter, she can eat. She plays sports and she be ready to eat. So imagine somebody, with a large family, and we're in the middle of a crisis, and people are not working. Because even if you get sick, you get COVID, okay, I'm at home for 2 weeks.
And
everybody's job don't pay you.
Don't have insurance.
They don't have insurance. So they're without money for 2 weeks. So I got to choose, I got to pay my bill. I got to pay my car note. I got to pay my rent,
Got to choose all that between eating.
Exactly. So
it's crazy.
That gives them an option. I can go get some food from her and feed my family. Because I've stocked the fridge a couple of times, and I know a lady, she stopped.
I know that's right, girl.
She said, I didn't know how I was going to eat today.
Really?
And that was about my second time when I went to the fridge, and I was like, damn. It didn't really hit me till then. I was like, damn, this is huge. And that was before, I think that was before you opened the second one. Like, this is a huge thing. Because that lady just said, she didn't know what she was going to eat. So, she didn't know how she was going to feed her babies. And she was able to stop and get food.
I hate when
Didn't have to fill
like
out
that.
a form.
Yeah.
Didn't have to sign nothing. Didn't have to tell nobody where she lived. Because when you go get help nowadays, I gotta give you my ID. I gotta bring my check
Your
stub.
social,
I gotta bring my SSI.
a bill.
Tell you how many kids I got.
Yeah.
The daddy living there, not where he at,
Gotta
why
give
he's not
his
there.
social, his address. No.
And she didn't have to do none of that. She was just able to get her food, hop back in her car, and go on about and go on. And that's how you really help somebody. You really help somebody without I shouldn't have to pull no whole bunch of strings.
And they don't have to know who you are.
Exactly.
They don't even have to know that you exist.
I don't need to know your name.
They don't have to know any of those things. But I do hate that I miss moments like that because I go so much. But there are more neighborhoods to put more fridges in. There's more food apartheid in Fort Worth. There's more food apartheid in America, period. And which is why all these fridges are popping up. So we say food apartheid neighborhoods or neighborhoods that are food apartheid because it's a South African word. But it puts the blame on where it belongs and not on the people and whatever decisions that they've made. But it is a recognition of knowing that there is a government there that should be taking care of you and that there is not. And not only are they not taking care of you, but they're creating the conditions that you live in and that you live under. And not only are they creating those conditions, but they're keeping you there.
Right.
And they're pushing you there in those neighborhoods. They're purposely placing you in those neighborhoods so that you can suffer and live in poverty, and you don't have as many opportunities to grow or pull yourself up by your bootstraps to do any of these things that America,
cliche terms that they tell you.
Yeah, America has told you that you can do to get ahead in life, because there is no getting ahead like half the time for most people.
Exactly. For most, if you do the numbers, most people really, a lot of people don't, make it out. Even though I will speak for myself, even though I am doing better than my childhood, I still do with
everybody's
with
a paycheck away.
Yeah, because hell, like I was saying before we start the show, I've been working overtime. And working over. I would rather not be working overtime. I would rather be in the bed.
No, for real.
I work at a call center. I do billing, and people. I don't usually talk to happy people. So I'm already like, damn, I signed up for 2 more hours of this shit. Like
no, for real.
I'm finna get yelled at for 2 extra hours. I've been getting yelled at since 9 a.m. I'm really finna stay until 8 o'clock. Like, but I do it not because I do it because that's me making it. I know, like, if I want to do something extra, have a little fun money, I know I gotta work, because really my checks go to,
and it shouldn't be like
bills.
that.
And it should not be like that.
It shouldn't be like
we
that.
should not be living where you working to pay bills.
I think that's what most people don't realize. Like, it don't matter who you are, where you work. If you are not part of the 1%, that is it.
Exactly.
You are one paycheck away from
poverty.
Being from poverty, or from being
right
there where these people are who you look down upon. And it's like, who looks out for those people, those most vulnerable people, or those people who can't find the help or don't necessarily get the help. And it's because people have all these preconceived notions, but like, who looks out for them for real? And so I don't know what it is with people, especially in the pandemic.
Like, you're not supposed to depend on the government. Well, yes, excuse my friend, just the fuck I am, because I pay taxes. And because
that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
that's their job.
That's
what you pay them to do.
Yeah, if you vote, I'm voting these people in. You went down there and you voted that person.
So what you asking me to vote for
every
4 years?
If you're not gonna look out for me, why am I voting? I shouldn't be voting for you. I shouldn't be doing nothing. I shouldn't be participating, because you're not gonna look out for me. I'm doing this for me. Because I gotta wake up. I gotta feed these goddamn kids. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. So I expect my government. I expect when I have a problem, to fall, to be able to fall back on it. One thing I love about us as Black people, though, we survive.
You get it.
We gonna
get it done.
We gonna get it done. We gonna get it done. It's a struggle, but we gonna get it done.
No matter, we've known struggle.
Yeah,
for centuries.
Our grandparents knew it.
We are no strangers to struggle. Struggle it's there. It's inevitable, and so you struggle through it.
Yeah,
and that's it. But yeah, I mean, there's more neighborhoods. There's more fridges that need to be put out. There's more people that need help, and there is no government savior coming to do that. And
Nobody's coming to save us.
I want people to understand that community is important to build, especially in times like these. Like, this pandemic has done nothing but heighten all the contradictions of just American civilization and how we've been living life and how wrong it is and has been. No matter who you are, what you've done, where you come from, how good you think you are or have done, like, you've caused harm to other people. And other people will cause harm to you, and it's because that of all these principles that have been embedded in us that and some we don't even know about, that we haven't even tackled yet. And so I think if people moved in that way, like understanding those things and on principle and with those kind of principles, I think the world itself would be better, and people will be better for themselves and look out for each other better and better for each other.
Yeah.
But we live in a very selfish and individualistic society, and that's why it's such a struggle to just get a person to wear a mask, or I don't know, have courtesy towards other people or extend grace to other people when they're going through things. And so it's all a learning process, I guess. That's what everybody keeps saying. So I guess we'll just sit back to everybody learning lessons.
Yeah, well, and I'm gonna be, how I feel about, it's a learning process. That's true. It's a learning process, but when are we gonna,
take accountability?
Yeah, take accountability and
be
actually
adults.
take that big leap.
And actually
it's
learn.
a learning process, but if you don't apply what you learn, you really didn't learn shit.
There has to be an action behind
and there's
it.
not we don't have a lot of action in our community, which is why I think that the FunkyTown Fridge is big to me, because
we about action.
Yeah, y'all.
We about action.
Y'all.
It's action, period.
Whatever you say you gonna do, you do. And I mean that, like I said at the beginning of the show, you are more than the fridge. I remember you made a post on Facebook about if we knew somebody that was incarcerated, and you sent people that were incarcerated money, because she sent one of my loved ones
for sure
money. So I was just like, I said, see, they are much more than just, y'all are much more. Y'all are, solidarity. That is what it is. When Nice did the shoes, y'all stepped in. Y'all got a lot of pairs of shoes, and I thought, and shout out to Nice for that, because that was very, very dope. To just, to see a need, that's a revolution. She saw a need, she stepped in. She saw that people needed food, she stepped in the fridge. Nice took her son to the park to play basketball. Kids was out there playing with no shoes. She said, okay, I'm gonna go get some shoes. I'm gonna get these kids some shoes. That's what she did. Yeah. You see something that's in need, you gotta fix it. A lot of times we don't. We get on Facebook like, I saw so and so and so and so. Okay, that's cool.
Everybody said they sad.
But what are you
gonna? Their thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, don't send no prayers, because that's not gonna put no shoes on their feet. Yeah. That's not gonna put a hot meal in their stomach. Yeah. When we see something, we gotta step out and do what we gotta do
and take care of each other.
Take the action to change it. And that's why I think that's motivational, to see things like that. Is something that you might think is small, like, oh my God, that boy don't have no shoes on, and you keep driving. Honey, you get home, honey, I saw this little boy that he didn't have no shoes. Well, you crying to your husband about ain't doing shit about him not having no shoes. So, we gotta step in and make those changes. And sometimes we might not always be able, but that's when you start reaching out to people that you do know.
Use
okay,
resources.
I know organization. Okay, I saw a little boy. Do y'all think y'all can help with this? Blah 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 blah. It's something that we have to be able to start saying, hey, I need to move. We need to see our own needs. We have to do it ourselves. Like I said, we know nobody's coming to save us. If we don't know that by then, we don't know that back then, we should definitely know it by now.
Yeah, for
sure. If
we 2 years in,
ain't taught us shit else.
Yeah.
When the pandemic hit, y'all should have known when nobody come to save us, because y'all know they wasn't doing shit with them damn stimulus checks. Yeah. I mean, it should have showed us nobody's, we're not gonna get anywhere. They lost
depending on these people,
sending dead people stimulus checks. People still haven't gotten their stimulus checks.
Incompetence.
Yeah, exactly. And I worked for the government for 10 years, so I can definitely say some incompetence in the government.
I mean, yeah, and we are much more than a solidarity fridge. Like, I hope that we're also an educational resource. I want us to be a resource, just like period. And I hope that we grow more. But first, I want us to be an educational resource for people, because if people are not learning, then I'm not doing anything. People are not growing, then I'm not doing anything. If people are not inspired to do something, to find their own solutions, then I feel like my work will be in vain. And so it's my I'll say calling, or my purpose, to try to do that as much as possible and educate people as much as possible, so that we can create a radicalized city and eventually a radicalized state and a radicalized world, so that people can really wake up and see that it's all bad and it's going down fast, and we have to do something to change it. Like, we have to find solutions. I want to have children. I want my nieces and nephews to grow up in a better world. I want all Black children to have futures and have promise and have purpose and be present in their own lives without feeling ostracized and oppressed and just like hurt and down and dealing with those kinds of things. Like, we want to see that world. I want to see a world that cares about children, to be real. And so it's a lot that you have to get rid of, a lot that you have to eradicate and break down, and nothing is gonna, you got to start somewhere, or nothing's gonna be done ever. And so I just started, and I don't want to stop no more. And this has been my life. Like, this is a lifestyle that I live. And so I think that's important for people to know too, like, because I think a lot of people jumped in last year into like organizations and organizing and being activists and just like,
and we don't see them now.
Nope.
And I can say that as a person that organizes, because I've taken, I ain't gonna lie, because with me working the overtime I'm working right now, and I don't live in Tarrant County anymore. I'm in Irving now, so it's kind of pushed the drive out here right now. So I kind of been out the scene a little bit, because I be getting ready to be like, do I want to get up and drive?
For real, yeah.
And then I gotta go to work in the morning, because not only am I working overtime at my full-time job, I work at a part-time job, and I go work from 2 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. 4 days a week. So I be like, I gotta be at work at 2:30 in the morning. I don't think
better be.
Look, I've been at 2 jobs, shawty, since I was 17, on and off. I worked 2 jobs my senior year of high school. It's not something, I tell my kids all the time, it's not something that you wanna, do. My kids know they ain't gotta branch out and just move out. So I don't want you to have to be sitting up there, working those 2 jobs. But I will say this, you see that a lot. People, we jump in after the death of George Floyd. People were motivated temporarily. They want to jump in, they want to do something. You turn around and reach back out to them.
Nowhere to be found, or
crickets. Busy, or some people weren't even returning my text or phone calls. And I was like, I give you 2 shots. I'm gonna text you once. I'm gonna wait probably about a week. I'm gonna text you again. I'm not gonna text you no more. Because at the end of the day, I gotta move on with the people that I do have, even if it's 1 or 2 people. Because I'd rather move with what I got than try to get somebody to move with me. That's all you need.
I tell people that all the time. All you need is 1. 1 and 2.
You don't need a whole lot of people.
2 is pushing it. All you really need is 1.
Yeah, so that is I noticed that a lot. We were trying to, we were passing out flyers, passing out cards, and I remember telling Ken too, I don't want to do pass out flyers because no more goddamn protest. And he was like, why? I said, because they temporary. I said, they fired up right now, but that flame is going to dwindle. Because I said, I done seen it too many times. I don't want to do that no more. I said, I would really rather people just come to us and express their interest, to be honest. I really don't want to have to ask you. Or you can just ask me, when I have my shirt on.
Honestly,
my
at
shirt
this point, you shouldn't even have to ask.
Yeah. Because it's not, the work is not for me. The work is for the people. And it's for
everybody.
It's for everybody. I'm doing it not just for the kids and for the kids, the generations that will come behind me.
You're going to benefit from it too.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you do the work, think about you doing it for yourself. You're not just doing it you may be giving somebody food, but at the same time, you're bringing awareness to a situation, and to defeat capitalism, we have to make people aware of how bad capitalism is, because a lot of us as Black people, and I don't want to go into a tangent, we practice we practice it. We have to survive
actively.
So we have to, exactly.
Actively.
And some of y'all be proud of capitalism. You may not, when you define it to them, it sounds bad, but y'all live it and y'all are proud of it every day, because you get on and you make these posts about getting money and da 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 da, and then you like, and you call people broke, and you call people poor, and y'all ain't really about no money. That's why y'all broke, and they've
been made to think that way.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, and that's why I always say that I try to teach people how to think for themselves, because you've been taught how to think your entire life. Like, that's what the school system is. It's ran by the state. They teach you how to think and what to think. There's a reason why everybody, even some of these young Black people my age that you talk to, still have the same politics as either older Black people or some of these white men walking around here, or some of these capitalists walking around here. Like, they've been made to think that. And I've been studying George James just a tad, and like, she really goes deeper in depth as to how that happens and why we think that that's like an answer or like a solution. Like, these people make you think that rich Black people are going to save you, or make you think that that's as a collective that brings everybody up.
Yeah, because
and it never
if they was gonna save us, they would have done it already. I mean, they already got the money.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so it's like that, and it really she really points out like that individual person does not collectively help Black people
at all,
in any way, form, or fashion. They get what they need out of you.
Yeah, because
from you, everybody makes it because of Black people. That's just what it is.
And you got black celebrities. They've been profitizing off of the revolution. In my opinion,
they have.
Yeah, I'm rooting for everybody Black, and they pro Black this.
Everybody got a new song out. There's a Black Lives Matter episode on every TV channel. They kill you, then they commodify your death and sell it back to you and your people, and then we watch it. We engage in it.
Yeah.
We talk about it.
And hell,
we post about it.
Yeah, people like, you see that episode, girl? I watch that shit. I already know what's going on.
Nah. Yeah. Nah.
I don't want to read. When I cut on my TV, I want to be entertained. I do not want to cut it on to relive the trauma.
My trauma.
Yeah, I don't want to relive my trauma. So I try not to watch traumatizing Black souls.
It's in the music. And the music now is not even like it was in the 60s, in the 70s, like during the actual movements. Not to say this movement is like fake, but when it was like really in the thick of it, these songs, they don't even have the same hurt or pain, in my personal opinion. They don't even have the same hurt or pain or soul in those songs. Are really kind of like solidarity, because now it's like you are the Black capitalists. Like, now I see that. So this song is not doing anything for me. I think most of those songs back then really came out of like a true solidarity and a true struggle. Like, you really in the struggle, or see the struggle with us in a way that you can really articulate it through that art in a way that's meaningful and impactful.
Our artists back then, they were suffering because they was separated. Now
they were segregated and stuff.
Our artists now, they making songs about Black empowerment and mingling with the enemy.
Yeah, but they didn't. You're right. I mean, they didn't have they couldn't do anything but feel it. But now it's like you making your music out of your own private studio, like with your wife and your kids and like your compound. So you can't really get with your. What was it? Your Breonna Taylor song, or I can't get with your Try Jesus and you Try Me. Like, I can't get with it. So, it's real different now. It's real different. People making careers out of it, out of this movement, and out of these lives.
Properties. I ain't gonna tell
Yeah,
y'all
I
what
mean,
to Google,
like-
but y'all can look up, some activists been.
Yeah, you can
taking
look
their
up Patrice
money
Cullors. You can look
Yeah.
up Sean King. You can look up Jesse Jackson, Lee Merritt, Al Sharpton, all of them. Look them all up. Like,
making money.
there's always been a grifter in the midst, and so at this point in time, like, you just have to just stay vigilant, I guess, and cautious, and just be prayerful and mindful and just watchful.
Right.
About, especially if you plan on leading something, about how you move and what your true intentions are, and really where your heart is, and make sure you're doing things for the right reasons and for the right people. Like, just gotta know what it is. I don't know. It's getting real weird. It's getting real weird in 2020, in 2021. So,
And we almost out of 2021, guys.
Yeah.
We breezed through this year.
yeah,
We breezed through
we
it.
almost with a good 2 years in a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
on top of like racism and colonialism at an all-time high.
And we
so,
exactly, we got to deal with COVID on top of that.
on top of global warming and harm reduction and everything else. So yeah, why not start a fridge? Why not?
Might as
Why
well.
not? Yeah, why not keep shaking some shit up and shake the table one time?
No,
So,
you definitely shook the city.
Yeah.
'Cause if y'all don't know about FunkyTown Fridge shit, y'all missing out on something that you can greatly be involved in.
Yeah.
Greatly be involved in. I know, I know some people ask me, "Oh, they still around?" Yeah, they're still
Really?
on the website. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes you may not post, but that's why I be like,
Don't have
follow the page.
time.
Follow
Yeah.
the page. I might not share the post sometimes, but follow the page, and you see your own updates. And I know you hate the word lazy, but sometimes we can
I
be.
do.
Click
I do not
click
like
the
it.
like. Click the follow. It ain't that hard.
Yeah.
It takes you 2 seconds.
I wish people would be more self-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
and like click on the resources that are there,
Mm-hmm.
because that would save me time and energy. Yes, that would be helpful.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Check out the rules on how if you're gonna fill up the fridge. No meat. Only
Yes,
canned
no
meat.
meat
'Cause
at all.
I see you post about that all the time.
Yes.
You be
People still
we
bring
done
meat.
said-
People still bring meat. There's a sign on the door. It's in Spanish. It's in English. It's in every language that I can have translated. If I need to put it in Braille, I will. I don't understand. But yeah, we don't accept meat. If it's canned meat, then that's fine. Or canned tuna or tuna in a bag, then that's fine. Anything that can go on a pantry or a shelf, anything that you can put in your own pantry, then that's most likely what you can bring. As far as like the refrigerator part, you can bring produce, veggies, kale, spinach, celery, apples, oranges, all those kinds of things, and always water, especially in the heat. So yeah, that's us.
So that's how y'all can support. Go to
Yeah.
funkytownfridge.org. If you can't go to a fridge location, donate. It's a Cash App. It's a Venmo. It's a GoFundMe. Purchase merchandise. Follow that Patreon. Support
Yes.
that fridge in any way
Yes.
you can, so we can keep those fridges filled.
So many
Again,
ways.
I had so much fun. talking. It's always a pleasure talking.
Thank
to
y'all
you,
for
Kendra.
having me.
So no problem. Again, this is Revolutionary Talk. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow our channel, follow their channel. Always
Yes.
support. Again, all power to the people.
Always.